I've got an Aqualand reissue here. Needs a battery change. So I've just got to take the strap off. Pretty fat spring bars there with my... And I've taped the back up so I don't scratch it. And I've got my Caseback tool. I've got three prongs. I've chosen the big round prongs which match the indentations on the Caseback, and I've tried to get three of them to engage. And I wasn't sure how hard it would be. Actually, it wasn't that hard to get off. But I started it. I did about half a turn with the Caseback removal tool, and the rest by hand. So I've got the Caseback about to come off, exposing the inside, and I really had no idea what would be in there. I couldn't find that much about it. So there is the movement C520, and there's some instructions there which you'll need to refer to later. The Caseback with the piezo, the gasket, which is a rectangular cross section, not an O-ring, and in yellow, a screw, which I'm about to undo. So there we go. A very fine watchmaker's screwdriver. I've just backing that screw off one turn. It doesn't need to come out. It just needs to be loose because it's holding a tab, which comes out from the side. And I've managed to put my hand in front of that for the whole time, so you couldn't see it. I've just clipped a bit out there. There's the battery holder coming off. And it's a CR2016. About to surprise me as it leaps out. And there we go. Yeah, 20 mils by 1.6 millimeters. There's possibly a date code there. It might be July 2014. And there's a new one, possibly March 2018. So I'll try and get that back in just with the tweezers. If I'd put on some finger cots, I probably could have done this with my finger. Just trying not to touch anything inside the watch, although I can see I did get a tiny bit of dust there. It didn't quite want to go in. Oh, it's getting away on me there. So I'll get my two pairs of tweezers. I'm using plastic tweezers so I don't scratch anything, and also so I don't short the battery out or anything else out inside the watch. So now I'll get that battery cover back on. So you can sort of see the reverse of what I've done. Oh yeah, bit of a wipe. Probably needs a bit of a blow as well, which I haven't shown. I had a look inside the case again with a loop, and I found that a few more bits of dust in there. So I got some Rodico to get that out, which is, it's kind of a bit like less sticky blue tack. I think if you open the case, probably you're going to get something in there, but I'm just trying to minimize it as much as possible. Yeah, cover going back on. Again, I possibly could have done this with my finger if I'd had a cot on. But anyway, I'm just going with the tweezers again, trying not to touch anything in the watch. And I've got to get that little tab under the screw, which I loosened off. So in we go. Come on, just a little nudge there. And just about there. There we go, I think it's home. Just a little nudge to be sure. Right, and back again with that watchmaker's screwdriver. Just got to nip that screw back up. And another little nudge to be sure. There we go, and it's only into plastic. You don't want to be, very gentle. I'm just giving it a tiny nudge there. Not much force at all. And I put the cover back on just to hold it, but I haven't got the gasket in yet because I've got to do the reset. So I've got to pull the crown out. And then this is following the instructions that we saw earlier on the battery cover. And then the display goes weird. Press all three buttons, get a display test with every LCD element turned on. And then fumble around for a bit. And push the crown back in so the watch starts. And there's a bit of it beeps as well when you do that, but I can't hear that. And it's time to seal it up. It looks like it's going. So I've got a bit of a one of these silicone grease with a bit of sponge. So you put in this case, you turn the top, and just puts a light film of silicone grease on the gasket. It sort of makes it a bit easier. You don't have to hold it in your hands or anything, or stretch the gasket. And again, I managed to do this all off camera, which is just putting the gasket onto the case back around the thread. And now back on the watch. So I've tightened this up mostly by hand, and I referred to my earlier photo just to see how far I had to go when I, for the final nudge, use the Caseback tool again just to get it tight. And there it is, all done. A note on the Caseback gasket. I think you probably have to use the factory one with the rectangular cross section. On other watches I've got, you can substitute just a generic O-ring with a round cross section and it'll fit in the gap as long as you've got sort of the right diameter and roughly the right cross section. But this one, the way it fits into the case, I don't think you could use a round cross section O-ring. I don't think it would be retained necessarily in the right place. It might even leak. And I don't know what the exact part number is, so I'm still trying to work that out for next time. I don't think I can reuse this one again. If you know, perhaps you could leave the part number in the comments.